Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about the 4 and 5 stars that before you know your full team have actual value. So I'm not going to do an in-depth guide on any one of them unless you need it. I'll just say what specific reason they're good for, and I'll start with the 4 stars. So in the 4 stars, there's two of them that whatever happens, you want to have. And it's for very obvious reasons. The first one is going to be DD. The reason you want her is just that one skill who's going to allow you to increase the max spirit you have when the match starts. For a lot of comps in PvE, in COT, in COD, she's extremely valuable. She's part of the one-hit KO meta. There's just no reason why you shouldn't have her. Her skills are also fine. She has a nice active, but you will need to get her anyway, and she's a special player rival, so you have to get her next week or you're gonna have to wait a while. So ideally try get her. We can all agree she's worth getting, and she's the only rival member that's gonna be part of the 4 stars. Then the second one is actually gonna be in the dark section. It's going to be Valkia, just because she has a slowdown, spirit burn, action bar burn capacity, and the spirit burn is extremely useful in Colosseum of Trials. So again, just get her until you have some really good stuff to burn spirit, like Miho, like Malcolm, all of those that go later on. But until then, she's extremely valuable just for that. And then this will depend what you're trying to run. But even in Mono Thunder, she's still, until you have a full 5 stars fully well set up back, she is able to actually do some good work. She has some great line buffs, the best line buffs for a 4 star. Now she even has a 4th stone slot, so she can have value. Now, if we're looking at this just to have a cool ace, again, I would advise just looking at the dark ones. I don't remember specifically which ones have it, but I'm pretty sure it's Kalarish and Midar who have some great aces. One is increased pass effect by around 80 or 90% if your life is high enough, and the other one is increased speed. So depending what you're running, both are also great aces. Just check specifically who has them. And that's basically the 4 stars. Again, always honorable mention for Samiel, for people who don't have paid managers. I know you can't really get her anymore, but if you have her, just use her. Now let's go look at the 5 stars. We do not need stupid ads. So at the 5 stars now, who are the players that if you see them, you should get them right away? Well, that's going to be pretty obvious. First one is, of course, going to be Elaine, just because of her active, of her skills, of the reflex counter. I mean, she's become ridiculously popular in high-level PvP. Second player you could also keep an eye for is Kevin. He has some great backline line buffs, and the fact that he gives starting action bar to the team has some great potential for COT once again, so I would advise getting him. Those are really the main two you want here. Then I would say Char is also great. She's one of the best PvE strikers. For PvP, I would not go for her. I would go for Shanti instead, who is... No, yeah, this is Shanti. So Shanti in the Wormwind family. And Victoria is completely broken as a midline with a 50% reflex buff. So they're the top 4 players of Ardor. The rest of them, then you would need to confirm that you are going mono Ardor. I'm not even going to advise Angela after her nerf. I'm going to be advising a different goalkeeper. Now, if we're going at Wormwind and we don't look at special and players you can't really get anymore, as I said, Shanti is a good bet. Vivid Fear is also a pretty decent bet. Kiki has some great value if you have her. Magnus in Rainbow is also nice for backline. That's pretty much the best stuff you'll have. Some other players are good, but since you can't really get them, I'm of course thinking of Aslan, but since she's a special super boss, I'm guessing this isn't the point in time when we're looking at those. Now, if we look at the Thunder, there has been a lot of changes, some nerfs on some of their key players, but of course, Glade right now, this is the best goalkeeper in game. If you find her, just equip her. This should again be completely fine. And that's pretty much. I mean, some people do like putting Nerua. The rest are really dependent on going Mono Thunder. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not worth it. Um, you can also have Jury. She's pretty cool for some COT comps because if they try Penetrator, they take damage. So if you have some serious issues damaging people, you could build her. She does have potential in that. But again, since it decreases, it's not that great. She's a special boss, so it's easy to max her out. Now, if we go to light, I'm going to say the best players here are going to be, well, Isilla as a goalkeeper is one of the best 5-star ones, but I might be a little bit biased, of course, because I kind of run her. Some players you're going to want, if you have a monolight team or you're trying to write monolight stuff, Latios, just for her ace and her global buff, is completely broken. But again, that's more when you're pointing towards monolight. I would say Milky Way for a lot of comps can be very interesting. White Guardian is a special boss, but if you have her, I would really advise to build her. She can pretty much block a curl and anything else, so that's really great on her part. Then of course there's the legends, but in light in the force there's not that many great things. I think Shaman also is pretty good if you got a self-healing backline because it's gonna give an insane amount of life and increase DR for every dead person on the team. That's pretty much what I would advise in light. And now dark, ironically, this is the place where you're gonna be advising much more people. There's going to be Black Daisy. You can max her out because she's a special boss. She has a great active. She has great utility. You have Alice, who's a superb special boss, so harder to get. Also great utility. Pretty good active. Not as great, but pretty damn good. Malcolm, even if you're not maxing him out, just E him and use him for the Spirit Burn. Because burning, I think it's 0.8 per enemy he targets. You target 2 enemies. You super play. You've just burned their entire spirit bar. This can be extremely powerful. Another great player is going to be Armel because she has a line buff, penetration, and speed, and an active for damage increase. Really powerful for friends that are not that fast. Shura is also great because she's able to give a bonus of crit rate of 80%, who makes her, in my eyes, one of the best passers, especially early on when you're having trouble critting. Um, then Ravian, I'm not going to advise her anymore because of all the nerfs she's taken. But those are pretty much some of the great things. Also, I would say Lilith because she heals the line whenever they do damage, who can be very powerful, again, in PvE. In backlines, I don't have that much of a great healing before you've built up players completely. So these are pretty much the players. I think I might have forgot to, in the Wormwind, to mention Marianne, who's another critical damage totem and who does give global speed buffs. So she is also pretty good. So those are mainly the players you're going to be look at when you are Rainbow. Of course, as always, I'm going to be advising you guys to build around your legends. These are just a list of some pretty decent players currently. They might get nerfed, they might get buffed. We don't know yet, but these are people you should keep your eyes out for. Have a good day, guys.